Alright guys, so I have a really valuable video for you today that I think is going to be very, very helpful. And so I just got back from the gym, hit some bench press, hit some rows, some overhead press. Pretty good session. But if you guys remember my last video, if you saw my workout vlog, you saw that I left in a little clip of me about to hit some deadlifts as usual. And I actually backed off because I was feeling a little bit of an injury, and I kept that clip in there to show you guys that you should never push through injuries, that you should never, push through any sort of aches and pains or signs of overuse or signs of, that you should really just back off, essentially. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about why that happened, because I actually do know why that happened, and I think this is going to be valuable for you because I think a lot of guys fall victim to this as well. And what really happened was that I was trying to rush the progress in my training. And so this is a lesson that gets reinforced to me time and time again, and it's that the long road, when you are natural, is really the fast road. Because here's the deal, guys. If you guys are familiar with the Polarity fitness philosophy at all, you know that the key to building a great drug-free physique is really in progressive poundages. It's getting up to the point where you're moving impressive weights across a handful of major compound exercises. And that's really the bottom line of drug-free physique building. Everything else, the low volume, the fucking low frequency, the low exercise selection, that's all secondary. That's all to support this fundamental principle of progressive overload on your major compound exercises. That's what's going to build the substance of your physique. That's what you need to be focused on at all times. However, what I fall guilty of, and what I think a lot of you guys fall guilty of as well, and full disclosure, I haven't done a good job of actually saying this in my content enough, and it's that you don't want to get so caught up in this message that you end up slapping weight on the bar and sacrificing your form. Because with the progress, the progressive poundages, the progressive overload, all of this, it's so easy to get lost in just slapping weight onto the bar, rushing the process, like rushing the natural adaptation process that your body goes through to gain strength. And so what most people don't realize, and this is a lesson that I've gained with time, and it's actually, it's a wise piece of advice that I'm about to give you, and it's that there's a natural built-in cycling process that happens when you rush the process of gaining strength. And what I mean by that is that, sure, when you're a beginner, you can slap 5 pounds onto the bar week after week, and you can make that fast progress for a short period of time. But after that, the rate of strength gains that you're going to be able to make is a lot slower. If you try and rush that, the natural built-in cycling process, it's going to basically come through Mother Nature telling you to back off, whether that's going to be through injury, whether that's going to be a regression in strength. You're going to probably lose a little bit of strength on your lifts. There's a natural built-in cycling process. So while you can make that fast progress for a little bit of time, nature is basically going to force you to back off whether you like it or not through, as I said, regression or injury or a plateau that you're gonna have to deal with for a long period of time. And so what I've been reinforced with time and time again is that the long road is the fast road, because here's the deal, guys. There's really no shortcut to building a great drug-free physique. If you want to reach your drug-free muscle and strength potential, you're going to have to put in 10 years of consistent training. There's literally no two ways about it. However, you can reach your muscular potential within 3 to 5 years. You can get 80 to 90% of the way there in like 3 to 5 years. But the quickest way to actually build your dream physique is just to avoid any disruptions in your training. It's to avoid the setbacks. It's to avoid injuries. If you can just simply train consistently for a long period of time, you're going to get there much quicker, as opposed to rushing progress for short periods of time, followed by regression, followed by injury. That's literally one of the biggest takeaways I've had. And so there's also another topic I need to cover, and it's conservatism. So a lot of guys, they kind of see me as this like high intensity training guy, like I promote the low volume, high intensity training, and like that's a secondary principle to really the Polarity fitness philosophy, which is just progressive poundages. And I think a lot of guys get very caught up in the high intensity training that they think it's the be all end all, when really training intensity is just a tool. It's just a tool. It's a means to an end to help you achieve progressive poundages. Because if you want to achieve progressive poundages, you need to train intensely. It's not the be all end all. So some guys just like grind out reps, and they force shit, and they lose form, and they slap weight onto the bar too quickly, and it always backfires. So there's actually a concept called conservatism, and if in the Herculean bulking program I talk a little bit about it. And it's that, let's say you're going for a set of 6 reps on the bench press. If you're at that 5th rep and you're not 100% sure if you can get the 6th or not, it's always better to leave it. Maybe you're 50-50. Always err on the side of conservatism and leave it. You're always better to leave a little bit in the tank so that the next workout you can get it. And what it does is it gives you this more steady and consistent rate of progress. Because ideally you want your training cycles to last a long time. And this is why I'm a fan of micro loading. And I know a lot of guys are like, oh, micro plates, like that's like a pound a week, 2 pounds a week, that's nothing. But if you think about it, over the long term, adding that little bit of weight every week or every other week, it's going to add up to a lot more over the long term. It's gonna equate to much more progress, because guess what? When you're going slowly, when you're taking that long road is the fast road mentality, that approach, you're not gonna be faced with the setbacks and the injuries, as opposed to just going balls to the wall, like slapping weight onto the bar, and then you're gonna, sure, you made a lot of progress in a short period of time, but you're gonna hit this stump, you're gonna hit a plateau, you're gonna get injured, you're gonna regress. And so over the long term, that slow progress actually leads up to massive gains. And so you don't necessarily have to do micro loading, although I'm a big fan of it, especially for upper body presses like bench press, overhead press. When it comes to squats and deadlifts, it's not that necessary. Maybe at the end of a training cycle when you're trying to squeeze out a little bit more strength. You can also use the double progression method for this, which is what I use in my programs, which is what I advocate for, because more people are going to have access. More people are going to be able to do that than do the micro loading progression style, because most people don't have micro plates. But you can do the double progression method, but what you want to do is just fucking take your time, man. And so I'm actually at fault for this, because I tell you guys, like, progressive poundage, just strive to get stronger every week. But the truth is that beyond the beginner stage, beyond that like first 6 months of training, that's just not realistic. It's more so going to be like every other week. But what's really important is that you're just striving for that. That's what matters. It's the striving that matters. It's not that you're going to hit that fucking PR every single week. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at a certain point. Maybe if everything is dialed in, but a lot of us that are following the Polarity fitness system, we have lives outside of the gym. We have responsibilities, you know, we have other things we're pursuing, other goals. And sometimes life gets in the way, man, you know? So that's the message, guys. That's the message. Always err on the side of conservatism. Don't try and slap weight on the bar. Like, just take your time. The long road is really the fast road. Like, it may seem like, oh, okay, I'm adding 5 pounds to the bar every week, but first of all, your form's probably degrading, which means that you have more likelihood of getting injured, and the body can only adapt so quickly. You gotta abide by the body's natural rate of progression, of adaptation. And you know what's funny is that, like, maybe you think, okay, I'm adding 5 pounds to the bar every week, I must be gaining a shitload of muscle, but that's not necessarily the case. Not every bit of strength that you gain is going to equate to lean muscle tissue on your body. Sure, you know, muscle and strength cannot be separated when you're a natural lifter. However, a lot of it is also like neuromuscular proficiency, just you like neural drive, getting better at performing the exercise. It's not all going to equate to lean muscle tissue, because the reality is that the upper limit of muscle that you can gain in a month as a natural lifter is 2 pounds per month anyways, and that's only really for the first few years of your training. After that, it's diminishing returns. It can be like maybe a few pounds a year, and then like, you guys get the point. It's diminishing returns. It's different for everybody depending on your body structure and all that, but it's diminishing returns, and not every bit of strength that you're going to gain is going to equate to the muscle tissue. So don't rush the process, man. If 1 week you stall out, you can't add a little bit of weight, that's no problem. The worst thing you can do is try and grind a rep out, like fail the rep because you're just going balls to the wall, and then next week, guess what? You grinded out that rep, maybe you even got it, but the next week, guess what? You're gonna fucking lose strength. You're gonna go down. You're gonna lose. Maybe you did 6 reps for 250 on the bench press and you grinded that 6th. You're probably gonna drop down to 4, and that's just how it works, man. Success is not this like linear thing. You're gonna have ups and downs, and it's not gonna be just the straight progress. And unless you're on drugs, but of course the Polarity fitness way is the natural way, motherfucker. So that's how it's gonna work, man. So this is really, really important. And so this is something that I've fucked up so many times, and that's why I've landed myself with this little injury that I have now in my lower back. I tweaked my lower back because I'm just like progress. Like, I want to push balls to the wall, because really I can't hold back when I train. That's the thing, man. Like I can't really, like, I have to work on. It's something I'm working with, and I want to be vulnerable with you guys and share you guys my fuck ups so we can learn from them as a community as a whole, and we can benefit from, because this is something I guarantee if I had adopted this more mature mindset at the beginning, I would be so much farther along in my training right now. You guys have no idea, man, because I've gone through many injuries as a result of just fucking rushing the progress, and my body has paid the price. I've gone overuse injuries. I've had to do many like resets. You know, I've had to reset my working set poundages because it just becomes a shit show. So anyways, that's the video, guys. I hope you guys found this enjoyable. Really milk your cycles, man. Milk your cycles. Stick with the same exercise and just like slow and steady progression. The long road is the fast road. Don't rush. Maybe use microplates if you want to buy those. They're very valuable. They're a very valuable asset if you're serious about your training. But the double progression method can work very well also. Just make sure that you're not trying to, you know, grind out reps and like this mentality where you're trying to rush everything, because it's not going to work, man. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know if you resonated with it. Make sure to pick up my free 13-point natural muscle building checklist. And guys, I'm so fucking excited. On Wednesday, I will be back to Ottawa. I've been traveling for like 2 months now. I'm in Holland right now visiting my grandma, my uncle, some family. But I'm really excited to get back to my usual setup because holy shit, man. I'm going to be able to pump out some amazing content for you guys. I'm really excited. And that's it, man. Take care. Peace.